managed to pick up a SNES Jr. or Mini recently for a pretty good price, and I figured, well, this might make a pretty good short video. So I think the first thing I'll do is get this apart. And you know, I think there's already enough tutorial videos on how to install this RGB mod board, so I don't think I'm going to cover that exactly. I'm going to focus more on my particular mod that is, I think, fairly unique, of installing the USB-C port. That's going to be mainly what I'm going to focus on. There we go. It's a little dusty on the inside, but yeah, not too bad. Pretty cool. I did take this apart earlier. There are two screws that hold this plastic to the motherboard. And on the regular Super Nintendo, there is I guess there's an RF port, which is where I put my USB-C receptacle in. This only has the multi-out and an AC adapter, and so I'm gonna have to trim the plastic back here to try and put my bracket in, to try and fit this bracket in place. So I think it's all just built into each other. Can I remove this? Maybe I should see if I can desolder the barrel jack. So it looks like it's incorporated into this plastic panel here. Using about 760 degrees Fahrenheit, that is, to work the solder on the jack. Just applying slight pressure. There we go. It wasn't hard at all. Yeah, it looks like the power jack is just molded into this back panel piece, which is unfortunate. I kind of wished it just butted up against it and had a cutout, like a lot of things do, but we'll be able to work with that, I think. You just rough out what you want and then come in with the chisel tip to clean it up, and it does pretty good work. So I have my USB-C port, I have the pads tinned on there, the voltage and ground. I have it connect something like that. I'm gonna solder leads onto my USB-C port plug, and then I'm going to get this super glued onto here. This plastic kind of rough. I'm going to rough up the face of this just a little bit more so that the super glue can really bond to it. In order to get this to stick really well to this plate with super glue, I'm going to rough up the surface a little bit. Not this flange here. Come on, focus. This flange here that sticks out the furthest, I'm going to leave that alone. It's mainly this like base part. This base part that I'm going to rough up. Okay, I think they roughed it up pretty good. That should give it enough tooth to stick with the super glue to the back plate, whatever this thing is, back bezel. To keep this secured while it's drying, I'm going to insert the male end of the USB-C to help align it. Get that secured in pretty good. I'm just going to let that dry. I'll come back to it in a little bit, and then we'll proceed onward with connecting up the positive and negative leads to the system, the Super Nintendo. The shroud's going to go on something like this. I need to find the point for the positive, and then a ground. This thing is a gigantic ground plane. Maybe I could connect to that. Yeah, we could do that. So we don't need the MOSFET anymore. What's going to happen is power is going to come through the USB-C. Ground goes to ground. Power is going to go right here to this pad near fuse 1. I have black to ground, red to one of the pads that runs through the fuse. Let's check that. Power comes in, runs through the fuse. Great. And this should go to the switch. This fuse runs through the switch here. When it's flipped to on, power will be sent from the switch to where the MOSFET was. And since there's no MOSFET, there's not going to be a connection to send power from the switch to the rest of the board to energize it. So I need to add a jumper from the input and output side of the MOSFET. You can see those 3 spots. The center one is a ground. We don't need to do anything with that, but we need to jump this point and this point. Alright, and you can see that I have the input and the output side of the MOSFET where it was. That is now bridged. So now, when you plug in the system, power comes in, runs through the switch. When it's switched on, goes to the jumper, energizes the rest of the board. So the USB-C mod is now complete. I want to move on to the RGB now. I have the Voultar RGB sync signal board, whatever it is. I have my cut length silicone coated wire for routing. I need to go over the vias for connection. Of course, Voultar has a very good video already showing you how to connect one of these to an SNES Mini or Junior. I'm going to cover some of the basics. It is a pretty simple mod though. The first thing we need to do is find these vias here. I've noted them with a Sharpie. You can see this notched mark here. That is the sync signal. I'm going to be using yellow for that. And I believe that's red, green, and blue. So I need to add a little bit of solder to these vias, which really sucks to solder to. Run my wires to that. Get this mounted to the multi-out connection here. And then hook up the wires. I have a SNES Mini that has a replaced set of capacitors, USB-C for powering on, and RGB output, thanks to the board by Voultar. What do I keep saying that? Voultar. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna get this put back into the case, the shell. I'm gonna first test with the USB-C to see if that turns on. I have my living room set up for RGB with my other SNES, my Super Famicom. Should know pretty quick if this is gonna work. Okay, in the living room with the original Super Famicom, just keeping it company, I suppose. Let's give it a shot. Yep, power pack is getting power, and let's zoom out. And it's working. I have RGB output, and it's working on USB-C. Let's just run whatever I did last. Looks like I was playing Zelda. So, I mean, I guess it's not too crazy of a mod. I've done this before with my other Super Famicom here. You can see the little USB-C there. And this one does too. It's just nice having one cord to power my Super Nintendos, my Nintendo 64. If I get a regular NES, of course I do the mod for that too. It's just easy because USB-C cords are everywhere now. It makes it so simple to hook things up. And yeah, it's pretty cool. Thanks for watching, and bye.